We make choices every day, coffee or tea. These seemingly simple decisions are part of our daily routine, shaping our habits and preferences. But have you ever stopped to wonder why you choose one over the other? Is it purely a matter of taste, or is there something deeper at play? Work out or watch TV? These choices reflect our priorities and values. They can influence our health, our mood, and even our long-term well-being. But what drives these decisions? Is it our conscious mind, or are there subconscious factors at work? These choices feel free, like we are in control. We like to believe that we are the masters of our fate, that we can steer our lives in any direction we choose. This sense of autonomy is empowering, giving us a feeling of agency and purpose. This feeling, this belief in free will, is fundamental to how we see ourselves and the world. It shapes our identity and influences our interactions with others. We take pride in our ability to make choices, to carve out our own path in life. But what if this feeling is an illusion? What if our sense of control is just a comforting story we tell ourselves? The idea that our choices might be predetermined or influenced by factors beyond our awareness can be unsettling. What if our choices aren't truly free? What if they are shaped by our genetics, our upbringing, or even the environment around us? These questions challenge our understanding of free will and force us to reconsider what it means to be human. This is the heart of the free will debate. It's a complex and multifaceted issue that has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for centuries. They have explored various theories and perspectives, each offering a different view on the nature of human choice. It's a question that has puzzled philosophers and scientists for centuries. From ancient Greek philosophers to modern neuroscientists, the quest to understand free will has led to profound insights and heated debates. It forces us to confront some unsettling possibilities. If our choices are not truly our own, what does that mean for our sense of responsibility? How do we hold ourselves and others accountable for actions that might be beyond our control? Do we really control our actions? Or are we simply following a script written by our biology and environment? These questions strike at the core of our understanding of self and agency. Or are our lives playing out on a script we didn't write? The stakes are high. Our beliefs about free will influence our legal systems, our moral judgments, and our personal relationships. They shape how we view success and failure, reward and punishment. Our understanding of free will impacts everything from how we judge right and wrong to how we understand our place in the universe. It affects our sense of justice and fairness, our approach to education and rehabilitation, and our philosophical and spiritual beliefs. It affects our personal relationships, our legal systems, and even our sense of self. The debate over free will is not just an academic exercise, it has real-world implications that touch every aspect of our lives. So, the next time you make a choice, big or small, take a moment to reflect. Is it really your choice, or is it something more complex? Neuroscience, the study of the brain, offers some compelling challenges to the idea of free will. This field delves deep into understanding how our brain functions, how it processes information, and ultimately, how it influences our actions and decisions. The more we learn about the brain, the more we uncover the complexities behind what we perceive as conscious choice. Studies suggest that our brains make decisions before we are even aware of them. This phenomenon has been observed in various experiments where brain activity is detected moments before a person consciously decides to act. It's as if our brain is a supercomputer running algorithms and simulations in the background, preparing us for action before we even realize it. This implies that our conscious experience of making a choice might just be our brain's way of making sense of a decision that's already been made. Imagine walking through a bustling market, choosing between different stalls. While you might feel like you're making a spontaneous decision, your brain has already processed countless variables to guide you to that choice. One of the most famous experiments in this field is the Libet experiment. Conducted by neuroscientist Benjamin Libet in the 1980s, this groundbreaking study aimed to understand the timing of conscious intention and brain activity. We'll delve into that more later. But for now, it's important to note that the Libet experiment provided some of the earliest evidence that our brains might be making decisions before we're consciously aware of them. But essentially, it showed brain activity related to a simple action happening before the participant consciously decided to act. Participants were asked to press a button at a time of their choosing, and brain activity was recorded. Remarkably, the brain showed signs of preparing for the action milliseconds before the participants reported their conscious decision to press the button. This kind of research suggests that our conscious experience of decision-making might be like a passenger on a train watching the scenery go by. We might feel like we're in control, making choices and directing our path, but in reality, much of the journey is predetermined by our brain's intricate workings. The passenger might feel like they're in control, but the train is going where it's going, regardless of their thoughts. This raises profound questions about the nature of free will and the extent to which we are truly the authors of our own actions. The question of free will isn't new. Philosophers have been grappling with it for centuries. There are many different philosophical perspectives on this issue. Some philosophers, known as determinists, argue that every event, including our choices, is predetermined by prior events and the laws of nature. They believe that free will is an illusion. Others, known as libertarians, argue that we do have genuine free will. They believe that we have a special kind of agency that allows us to make choices independent of causal chains. There's also compatibilism, a view that attempts to reconcile free will with determinism. Compatibilists argue that even if our choices are predetermined, they can still be considered free if they originate within us. The debate is complex and there's no easy answer. Each perspective has its own strengths and weaknesses. Let's revisit the Libet experiment. In this groundbreaking study, participants were asked to perform a simple action like flicking their wrist at a time of their choosing. They were also asked to note the exact moment they became aware of their decision to act. The surprising finding was that brain activity related to the action occurred about half a second before the participants consciously decided to act. This suggests that the decision to move was already being made by the brain before the conscious mind was even aware of it. While the Libet experiment has been subject to various interpretations and criticisms, it remains a cornerstone in the debate about free will. It raises profound questions about the relationship between our conscious experience and our underlying brain activity. Section 5. Everyday examples. Are we really in control? Beyond the lab, we can find examples in everyday life that make us question our sense of free will. Think about a time you acted impulsively, perhaps saying something you later regretted. In those moments, did it really feel like you were fully in control of your actions? Or consider the influence of advertising, peer pressure, and even our upbringing. These factors shape our desires and influence our choices in ways we might not always recognize. These examples suggest that our choices are often influenced by a complex interplay of factors, many of which we are not consciously aware of. This raises the question, if we are not fully aware of all the factors influencing our choices, can we truly be said to be in control? Section 6. The problem of morality. If we don't choose, can we be held responsible? The implications of the illusion of free will extend to morality and the justice system. This raises profound questions about the nature of responsibility and accountability. If our choices are not truly our own, then the very foundation of our legal and moral systems is called into question. If our actions are predetermined, can we be held morally responsible for them? This question challenges the core of our ethical beliefs. It forces us to reconsider what it means to be responsible for our actions. Can we punish someone for a crime if they were not truly free to choose otherwise? This dilemma is not just theoretical. It has real-world implications for how we administer justice and how we perceive guilt and innocence. This is a complex ethical dilemma with no easy answers. Philosophers, legal scholars, and ethicists have debated this issue for centuries, and yet a consensus remains elusive. Some argue that even if free will is an illusion, we still need to hold people accountable for their actions to maintain social order and protect others. They believe that without accountability, society would descend into chaos. Others believe that a deeper understanding of the deterministic nature of our actions should lead to more compassion and understanding in our justice system. They argue that recognizing the factors that influence behavior can help us create a more just and humane society. They argue for a more rehabilitative approach, focusing on addressing the underlying factors that contribute to criminal behavior. This perspective emphasizes the importance of social and psychological support in preventing crime and promoting rehabilitation. Section 7. The illusion's impact. Does it change how we live? The idea that free will might be an illusion can be unsettling. It challenges our deeply held beliefs about ourselves and the world. But does it necessarily change how we live our lives? Some argue that believing in free will is essential for a meaningful life. They believe it gives us a sense of purpose and responsibility for our actions. Others argue that accepting the illusion of free will can actually be liberating. It allows us to be more compassionate towards ourselves and others, recognizing that we are all products of our genes, environment, and experiences. Section 8. Embracing the unknown, living with the mystery of free will. The debate about free will is likely to continue for centuries to come. There may never be a definitive answer. However, grappling with this question can be a valuable exercise in self-reflection. It encourages us to question our assumptions, examine our motivations, and cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Perhaps the most important lesson is learning to live with uncertainty. We may never fully understand the nature of consciousness or the extent to which our choices are truly free. Section 9. Finding meaning without absolute control. Even if free will is an illusion, it doesn't negate the meaning and purpose we find in our lives. We can still appreciate the beauty of the world, the love we share with others, and the contributions we make to society. Ultimately, whether or not we have true free will, we can strive to live authentically, make choices aligned with our values, and create a positive impact on the world around us. The journey of life, with all its complexities and mysteries, remains a profound and awe-inspiring experience.